cheating, a student's way to finesse their way around a test because either they didn't study or they just weren't smart enough. And you know, in most cases, this is just so they can secure a good score on the test, but some people just do it for the love of the game. Now, cheating is one of those things that's pretty much normalized in school right now, because teachers will really be like, if you get caught cheating, I'm taking your test and it's an automatic 0. But then the next second later, your homie across the room going crazy with Spark Notes popped up on his computer. Like, what the free? How you got your computer out, gang? On the test. Like, if I had $1 for every time I see somebody obviously cheating in class, bro, I probably wouldn't monetize my videos no more. My fault about the ads, y'all. And the point I'm getting at is, I feel like teachers do know the kids are cheating, but they just respect the art of it. You know what I'm saying? There's really an art to cheating, bro. And you know, me personally, I ain't never do that because I'm a good boy. But I do know and understand the art and have witnessed it firsthand. And so that's what we finna do in today's video. We gonna rank the techniques of cheating and figure out which one's most effective. You feel me, bro? Let's get into it, man. We got some stuff to talk about. All right, now first up, we gotta talk about the classic old phone under the desk. Now this is one of those last minute technique for scramblers or people who just didn't really even know there was a test today. Or they just fully gave up on life and decided, hey bro, I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna run it up. I don't really care about school in general. And I've seen people who do this naturally, you know what I'm saying? They whip their phone out, keep it under low key. But I feel like this is one of them techniques that is just kind of obvious all the time. Like, I don't understand how teachers don't be catching when people are doing this. Like, kids' heads be down for way too long, not bubbling or writing anything in, bro. Like, they obviously on Google scrolling. ChatGPT throwing crazy lives mid-text. But that's the funny part. I feel like people who do this technique, a lot of times they think they're slick when the whole class obviously peeping them, bro. After the test, we know. And I remember in middle school, because I'm not that old, you know what I'm saying? I'm only 45. This was a pretty common method, bro. I remember there was one week, people was just getting caught left and right, bro. Teachers would come up behind them and tap them on the, excuse me, I need to talk to you. Or they hit them with the, excuse me, go ahead and hand that over. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I know people's hearts was dropping. Like, this was just a shameful way to go out, bro. But I will say, if somebody does manage to pull this off without getting caught, bro, you pretty valid. You know what I'm saying? You might be up there pro levels in the art of cheating. For this technique, I'm gonna say this is a 7 out of 10, bro. Because 3 times out of 10, somebody getting caught. You feel me? Maybe that's too high. We'll figure it out. Now, for this technique, we got a very much old school method. And I'm talking about, yo, look over at somebody else's paper. You feel me? And you know, this was really the go-to back in middle school. But I swear, once I got to 7th grade, I feel like this got patched for real, because then teachers started getting like calculated with it. They started handing out different tests with different answers with the person sitting next to you. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I was tweaking out when I first encountered this, bro. It felt like that Naruto episode when they was trying to cheat in class, trying to pass these exams. I'm like, gang, why does the bro next to me have squares and circles on his test? I thought this was math class, boy. Bro, I swear it legit felt like that, bro. Like, teachers just needed to chill, dog. But before this technique was patched, if you knew the kid sitting next to you was smart, this was free work, bro. A little side eye and a glance and you going crazy, bro. But the thing is, me personally, I never like to do this move. 1, because I could barely see the paper next to me. I always had bad vision. And 2, if I didn't trust the person next to me, why would I look off their paper? You know what I'm saying? Some people was just looking at the other person's paper and they didn't even know if the kid was an A+ student, a B+ student, or they was just tweaking. Some kids used to just be drawn on the test. Like, gang, how you not finish your test? We had 20 hours to do this. That's an exaggeration. And yeah, so for this technique, I always commended people who could pull this off. Wait, no, I don't condone cheating. I don't. And you know what? That's the other thing, bro. If I were to copy off somebody's paper and I got that question wrong that I copied, do you understand? I would be heated at you. That's just the type of person I am. I'm gonna be mad at you because I got it wrong. I thought we was in this together. Nobody asked me to cheat. I don't care. But like I said, if you're actually one of the few who could pull off this method, this was type legendary. I feel like if we ranking this on effectiveness, we gotta give it an 8 out of 10, bro. We gotta get an 8 out of 10. I feel like this is pretty effective, man. I mean, people was not getting really caught for this. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now we get into more the Gen Z type of areas. And I'm talking about the old calculator / Apple Watch. We're going to put them both in the same category. And so for these right here, this is more of a slick try hard method. You know what I'm saying? For the teacher to catch you with these, you got to make it pretty obvious. So let's start with the calculator one. Now, if you don't know, people used to put their phones in their calculator case. Like, I remember people doing this before the math test, like it was Mission Impossible, bro. I'm like, bro, am I the only one with a real calculator and not my phone in the case? But it was always the kids who used to sit in the back of class doing this too. They had it free. I always got in unfortunate situations to be sitting in front of the class where the teacher looking at me, every equation. But that's the thing with this. I never understood how people really use their phones like this on math tests. I feel like it was either you know it or don't know it. Like, it was really just equation. Like, bro, it's obvious you ain't using no calculator, bro. You over here scrolling. But with that method, I feel like the effectiveness is strangely low, bro. If you ask me, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. I don't care, bro. We gotta get some low scores. Let me get some 5 out of 10. Now, for the Apple Watch or smartwatch method, if you don't know, people used to have their notes or whatever the test was on their little Apple Watch. And I remember when this dropped, because the Apple Watch dropped when this dropped. People was using this like crazy. Actually, one time my friend got caught in class doing this. Yo, I remember it was freshman year. It was like the first test, bro. He was all the way in the back of class. I don't know how the teacher spotted him. She was one of them try-hard teachers, though. She ran all the way back there. I ain't never seen her move like that. She said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" Bro said, "Oh, nothing. I'm checking the time or whatever." I forgot what it was. But apparently he just scrolled off and get caught. And the dean came in the classroom and everything, escorted him out. He got out of it smooth. I don't even know what happened after that. But he did have his notes on his Apple Watch for sure. He told us after. And yeah, this method's just like I explained. It seems like it's hard to pull off, but as long as you not overly glancing at your wrist, like, bro, in what world or while you're taking the test, you should be glancing at your wrist like this, bro. So you can't make it that obvious. Definitely somewhat a 6 out of 10, man. It's pretty hard to pull off. Screen overly little. Bro, don't do this method, gang. Wait, don't do any of these methods. I forgot. Moving on to one of the greatest, iconic, I would say unpassed techniques, depending on your teacher, we got the bathroom break technique. Now for this one, you simply raise your hand, ask if you can go to the bathroom, and dang, can I English? And it's game time from there. Once you get in the bathroom, I would say you got about 1 minute before the teacher starts suspecting things. You're gonna have to make that bathroom trip quicker than usual, if you know what I'm saying. Because this method requires a game plan typically. Typically, you gotta have your stuff ready on your phone already before the test because you gotta know you already done for. Or you get to the test and realize you done for. And so maybe students will actually play it off a little bit, act like they drank too much water, they stomach hurt, and then ask to go to the bathroom on the test. And I feel like teachers know the kids who are the type to do this. Like who really need to go to the bathroom during a test, bro? Like, tests don't be that long. And either way, why is that the one time you ever asked to go to the bathroom? That'd be the type of students doing this. But boom, they get to the bathroom. I know they pulling out their phone, panicking, scrolling, going through study guides and whatnot, bro. This never seemed ideal to me because, like I said, when you're in there too long, the teacher starts suspecting things. Clocks start ticking. This the real Mission Impossible mess right here. Like, dudes will really hide out in the stall on Google going crazy. Like, I remember one time, bro, I walked into the bathroom. Dude had a whole paper out. I ain't never seen nothing like it, bro. I'm like, dang, at that point, you could have just studied. There's too much stress on you. You finna lose your hairs in a few seconds. This is one of the methods. It's a little difficult to pull off. Actually, depends on your teacher, for real. If your teacher one of them ones that be like, nah, you gotta finish this test first. You're good. Find something else to do. If your teacher don't really care that much, they gonna probably let you go to the bathroom, which most teachers do during the test. Yeah, I feel like teachers not dumb. They know what kids are doing. But hey, man, I don't see why this isn't a 9 out of 10 method. 9 out of 10 effectivity. And that's the funniest part. After this method, when the student will walk in, they come back in looking overly confident. Sit down, finish the test instantly. Like, all right, bro, I know what's going on here, gang. Moving on, we have one of those I don't care if I get caught techniques, which is the notes on the desk. And surprisingly, I feel like the notes on the desk isn't that patched. It depends how you go about it, bro. Now, me personally, I would never pull this off. But yeah, this is usually on paper tests where somebody could put a paper under the paper, if you know what I'm saying, or just somewhere around the desk. I feel like this is one of the methods the delinquent kids kind of did, who just really didn't care too much. I don't know, sometimes the teachers just wouldn't be noticing, which didn't make sense. Or it'd be one of them teachers that just sit at their desk and just would be on their phone or something during the test. Shout out to those teachers. It was free game then. At least for the notes out, bro. Strangely enough, I would say 7 out of 10. I might rank these differently, y'all, at the end or something. So for the last main technique, this one was truly an art. But every once in a while, there would be a master plan to distract the teacher. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but let me explain. It would be one of them classes where everybody know the teacher's a hard grader or just a hassle, and somebody would have to make a scene. Somebody either have to drop a water bottle, throw some through the window. That's extreme. But you know what I'm saying? Somebody will have to get that teacher's mind racing or just off the test in general or off the eyes of everybody else in the class working. Like maybe you have somebody called the sacrifice who will raise their hand, notice something going on and be like, oh, yo, teach, this is blank, 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 blank. And boom, once the teacher distracted, everybody flipping through notes, whispering to each other. Usually this would happen, I feel like, when the teacher walks out the classroom, gang. But yeah, the teacher distraction method, I don't even know if this is patched. This is like one of those once a year type of methods. 10 out of 10 effectiveness if pulled off correctly. Hey man, once again, this is totally hypothetical. I forgot to mention, all of this is hypothetical. I've never seen anybody cheat. If I did, I would snitch immediately, tell the dean. Hello? I don't even cheat myself, never have, never will, never will. All right, y'all, through Crew 5L, God bless y'all. Love y'all boys, subscribe, like, share this video with a friend. Come back to the next video. It's the same me in every video. Come back to the next one.